All right, here we are once again down by the lake in our normal spot. Um, Today, what we're going to talk about are the best ways to monetize YouTube or how to monetize YouTube. But what I always like to do is I like to answer a few questions to start and give you some niche ideas. And one thing that I want you to understand when it comes to picking the niche is A, there's no perfect niche, right? B, any niche will work. And the best niches are based on your experience. And the niches that I'm going to give you uh, that I'm thinking about are based on those things. One niche is simply like car detailing, interior, exterior car detailing. And that's based on back in the day, back before I had kids, I used to drive a Camaro. And with that Camaro, I spent more time washing it and detailing it than I actually did driving it. I only drove it during the summer, spring and summer when there was no snow on the ground, but I would spend a bunch of time detailing it. I would spend time, and I don't know how long we're going to be out here because it looks like it's going to rain again. I would I would detail it with, I would spend a bunch of money on, it was called Adam's Polishes. And I would buy shampoo, I would buy wax, I would buy this thing that would make it look shiny and wet all the time. But it, before I could figure out how to wash and wax a car, what I had to do, I had to go on the internet and I had to look and do research and figure it out. You know, one of those things is like how to get swirl marks. You know, there's if you ever look at a car and it's got like those scratches, it's because people wash their car incorrectly. They just either let a machine do it, they take it through a car wash drive-through, or they're washing their car incorrectly, and it would generate swirl marks and kind of scratch in the paint. And so one of the things you have to research is how to wash your car so that swirl marks don't happen. And through that, I learned that there's a 2-bucket system. And so you go out and buy buckets and you buy special products to make your car look great. And then I would wax it 2 times a year. And then I had to research clay barring. There's a thing that you clay your car to get off all the imperfections so that when you polish it, it looks clean and wet and it looks really good. But that again, based on my experience and my knowledge. But because I went and did the research, I could go teach other people how to do it. I've got another niche written down here. Let me see here. I have, another big one. 2 of them actually. So car care is one. The next is travel. Traveling is a huge thing, and it doesn't have to be traveling internationally. It can be going on simple vacation. There's a few ways to approach traveling. If, let's say, you are a fan of a sports team, most of the sports teams, half their games are played not in the home stadium. And even if they're played in the home stadium, a lot of people that are going to watch a team, and I'll give you an example, my favorite football team is the Chicago Bears. I live here in Wisconsin, and when we go to the Bears game, I've been to probably 5 or 6 of them. If we go to a Bears game in Chicago, which is about an hour drive, we usually will go and stay the night before. We'll stay the night before at a hotel, and we'll maybe go out and hang out, and then we'll go to the game, and then we'll drive home that night or maybe stay the day after. Most people that are going to a football game don't stay in and around the location. And those people need to know the best places to eat, the best places to sleep, the places that are closest to the stadiums and restaurants, and that can be an opportunity. But if you wanted to, you can do traveling, and you can really find a way to attach travel to just about any niche. If you are fishing, I like to talk about, if you're in the fishing niche, the best places to fish in Wisconsin. Those people oftentimes don't live in Wisconsin, they're going to travel. And so they're going to need to know where to stay. It's starting to rain just a little bit. We'll stay out here for a couple more minutes to see if the rain subsides. But travel's a big one. Best all-inclusives in Mexico or best all-inclusives in Jamaica. Those are obvious ones. But I think the not so obvious ones are the best restaurants near Fenway Park. That's always a great place because honestly, if you live in Boston, you live near Fenway Park, you probably have a good idea of the restaurants. But if you're searching for the best restaurants near Fenway Park, you probably don't live in or around the Boston area. And so you can create content to help people solve that problem. So I think those are 2 pretty cool niches that are out there that are really, really simple and basic, and they're just based on my experience. And again, based on my experiences, there's a bunch of problems and solutions that you can find, identify. And again, problems aren't necessarily a bad thing. Finding a place to eat because you're on vacation isn't a bad thing. So yeah, I want to make sure that I answered that question, or give you a couple niche ideas there. Also, let's answer some questions. There was one comment that someone said, all of my videos seem to be negative, and I disagree with that. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Another person asked me, what am I using to record my videos? This is a DJI Osmo 3, OSMO 3. I'll put a link in the description to Amazon. It'll be an affiliate link. And I'm also using, this is called a Rode Wireless Go-To microphone. And that's what I'm using to make these videos. They're not edited at all, as you guys know. I'm just kind of speaking off the top of my mind and hopefully answering questions and solving problems and pointing you in the right direction. But what I really like about this DJI is it's lightweight, it's 4K. I don't have to do a whole bunch of additional editing, and I don't have to do a whole bunch of configuration. I basically just pop in a mini SD card, press record, and I start talking, I start yapping. And because of that, it's quick, right? I spend 10, 15 minutes driving down here to the lake. I'll talk to you guys for 20, 25 minutes. Spend 10, 15 more minutes driving back home, pop everything in to the computer, make sure my audio and video is in sync and it doesn't sound crazy. That's an ongoing issue. And then upload it right into YouTube. And my last couple videos have done very well doing it. And I think I'm going to make a video tomorrow that talks about how YouTube is in easy mode. I don't know how, that's probably going to be a shorter video, but I think that's a video that a lot of people need to hear. And I'll save most of what I want to convey to you with that tomorrow. But more importantly, let's talk about all the different ways to make money with YouTube. Now, I've been on YouTube for, I don't know, 7, 8 years, maybe even longer. I have a niche in security cameras. I have a niche in teaching people how to start a blog. I have a niche in teaching people how to start a YouTube channel, remote jobs, this one, Spanish. I don't know any Spanish. In fact, I failed Spanish multiple times, which is kind of funny. What else? I have niches in painting, so a YouTube channel in painting. So I have a ton of experience, and I might be one of the best people to tell you how you can monetize YouTube. And I'm going to rank them. I'm obviously going to do the last first, and then the best one I'll obviously save for the end. But I think one of the worst ways to monetize YouTube is with merch. I personally don't like merch because I think it's, in order to have merch, you need to have 10,000 subscribers to have a merch shelf. But more importantly, I think merch is, you have to have a very strong connection with your audience in order to sell merch. I think people's clothing styles and apparel is so highly dependent on the individual that it's a tough sell unless you have a lot of followers. Like Mr. Beast, I think his merch is ugly, but people will buy it because they want to support. And you need a lot of followers in order to do that. Or you need to build a very deep connection, almost like a cult-like connection, in order to sell merch. Sell it successfully and sell it consistently. And for me personally, I don't think merch solves a problem. And so it's a tough sell. So I think merch should be, like 3% of your revenue plans, of your income stream plans or goals. Next, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me, is the YouTube Partner Program, getting paid by having the ads that show up in the beginning, middle, and end of your videos. And I don't like the YouTube Partner Program because there's so many variables that you can't control. For example, people that live in tier 2 or tier 3 countries aren't as valuable as someone that lives in a tier 1 country. And what I mean by that is, let's say your following is in Pakistan, and no disrespect to the people of Pakistan. There won't be as many people running ads on your videos targeting Pakistan. And so, you're not going to make as much money. I also don't like the fact that it's really niche dependent. So if you have a niche that is in like finance, you're going to have a higher CPM. But if your niche is in entertainment, that CPM is going to be a little bit lower. We're talking about 5 cents, 10 cents, maybe even a couple dollars. And it's also really seasonal. If you are creating content, let's say in June, we're the last day of June here, advertisers maybe don't have the budget to run a bunch of ads in June. However, in December and Q4, advertisers are just throwing money at people trying to get them to buy, right? The buyer's mindset. And so you're going to see ebbs and flows. And I also don't like, with the YouTube Partner Program, you don't really have as much control. You can be kicked out of the program. Your content is heavily moderated. You have to make YouTube or advertiser friendly content. You can't swear as much. Now, if you guys notice, I rarely ever swear on my content. I really ever swear in real life because I've got kids. But if you naturally swear, and there's nothing wrong with swearing, or if you make content that's deemed sensitive, then the amount of money that you can make from the YouTube Partner Program can be severely restricted. There's a lot of rules and guardrails when it comes to trying to make money with YouTube, and I feel like that really suppresses the amount of money that you can make. So when you combine the fact that you really just can't say whatever you really want, sometimes swearing, you need to swear to emphasize a point, to drive a point home. You need to drop the F-bomb. If some content is too political or too extreme, that can't be monetized because it's not advertiser friendly. The amount of money you make can fluctuate based on a video. What's really interesting, and I've shown you guys this before, some videos have a CPM of $200, while others have a CPM of 50. So, you can't really depend on the amount of money consistently. It's really at the whims of YouTube and the YouTube Partner Program and who's seeing your content. So I think that's kind of annoying. The YouTube Partner Program. After that, I would probably rank affiliate marketing. And if you're not aware, affiliate marketing is recommending other people's products and services. And affiliate marketing is good. However, you don't have that much control. It's highly dependent on the program that you're partnering with, the company that you're partnering with. And affiliate programs can change, right? If, for example, a lot of people are partnered with Amazon. In fact, the links in the description that are for this microphone and for the camera are going to be to Amazon. And at one time, Amazon offered a lot of benefits for its affiliates. 10% commission on this microphone or this camera could net me $10 per person. Now the commission's down to like 3%. So it's going to be what, $3, if that. And so you're going to wind up needing more traffic, more views in order to make the same amount of money. Affiliate programs can change at any point. They can kick you out of the program. They can deem that your content is not eligible or worthy for whatever reason. So again, if you want to run a business and you want to maximize the amount of money that you make, you want to make sure that you have as much control as possible. And with the YouTube Partner Program, you have almost no control at all. With affiliate marketing, you have more control, but you still don't have as much control. Affiliate marketing still works. I still do affiliate marketing on a number of my channels, but just know that you're not going to have as much control as you normally would. So we've got merch, which I'm not a huge fan of, the YouTube Partner Program. Now, I'm not telling you not to have these revenue streams or income streams in your business. Just don't count on them to be a huge part. After that, I'm going to say digital products. Now, a digital product can be a planner, workbook, cheat sheet, ebook, even though I'm not a huge fan of ebook. And I like digital products because you have more control. You decide what digital products you want your target audience to sell. And digital products can be created quickly. However, one of the biggest drawbacks of digital products is you could spend a bunch of time making it and nobody would want it, nobody buys it. But digital products can be created quickly. More money comes to you, you make like 99% profit. The only thing that you'd have to pay for is you'd have to pay your payment processor, and then if you're using a sales page or a funnel builder, you would have to pay for that. But I really like digital products, and normally what you should be doing, or what I would recommend, is create a digital product that's a low ticket offer, $7, $17, $27, to start building a list of buyers. Digital products will take more time to create than affiliate marketing or the YouTube partner program, but it gives you the opportunity to build a list where you can potentially monetize further. You can take some of those people and offer them more things like a course. Now, what I've seen some people do on YouTube, it can work, but I don't think it works as well. Some people will just offer a $97 or $997 course. That can work. However, you're going to have fewer people buying, and so your list is going to be smaller. What I would suggest and recommend is start off with a lower product or even service, and then once you have a mailing list of buyers, you can then offer additional things. So the way that I like to think about it is your low ticket offer. That first thing that you're offering is a do-it-yourself solution, and that do-it-yourself solution is going to be like a template, an ebook, something where they can consume the information and try and implement and get a quick result. The result that you should be offering for the DIY solution should help them get a result within hours, days, weeks, or 1 month at the longest. That's why I like templates and Instagram stories templates. Even like a YouTube thumbnail template. They can get it, they can implement it. And then the next thing would be kind of like a done with you. And that leads me to the next thing, kind of like memberships. I really like memberships because it gives you the opportunity to help them at a little bit more intimate, closer level. While I'm thinking about doing my thumbnail, I'm just going to do a couple still images right here. Anyway, I always forget to do it. So if I'm ever thinking about it, I just go ahead and take care of it. Anyway, memberships. And there are low tier memberships, and then there are high tier memberships. And with memberships, you are offering additional content, exclusive content. So that's kind of a good and bad. You're going to be making YouTube videos, but then people that join your membership, you're going to be offering additional content. You might be doing live Q&As. You might be doing workshops. You might be doing additional coursework, or updating them as they see fit. Those can be very beneficial because they can add in monthly reoccurring income. However, they require more work of you. And you should be able to come up with a couple of membership ideas for just about any niche. So comment your niche down below and I'll give you some membership ideas. You could always, of course, use ChatGPT. But I really like memberships. One of the drawbacks of one of the drawbacks of affiliate marketing and digital products is every single month you're starting over from scratch, always starting over from zero. However, if you've got a reoccurring monthly membership, you're not always starting over from scratch. You're always starting from zero, and that can be a nice little boost. You've got $3,000 per month coming in. You just need to figure out how to get more people so that you can meet your next revenue goal. So I really like memberships, and in fact, I think I've got a membership down in the description that you can join if you want. If you don't want to join, that's fine. But I can offer more exclusive help and assistance at a closer, more intimate level. I can give you actual pertinent information relevant to the problems that you're going through instead of just general information. So after memberships, I like offering software as a service, or SaaS. SaaS, and another benefit of SaaS is you can build reoccurring monthly income. When I talk about SaaS, I like to have people think about kind of like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, where you're offering something, in this instance, a service, and you're getting paid reoccurring. GetResponse is a SaaS. People use Go High Level. I actually use Go High Level for my software, where you can have you can build out landing pages, sell digital products. I think I have it for like $17 per month. But the great thing about SaaS is you're offering a service. One of the drawbacks of having a membership is people might not see the value. They might not feel the tangible benefits of being a part of a membership. However, if you're offering a SaaS, they can see, okay, I have a landing page that I'm continuously paying for and I'm using, or I'm selling my digital product. And so people will actually see the value of their SaaS and they'll hang on a little bit longer. So yeah, I think those are it in order. We've got the memberships that are last, then the YouTube Partner Program, affiliate marketing, memberships, and then software as a service. And you should be able to come up with a SaaS for any niche. Now, the great thing with software as a service is you don't have to necessarily create your own. Like I said, I use Go High Level for my SaaS. You can go out there and buy some. You can hire somebody to create a custom SaaS for you, or you can white label. And that's what I do. I white label Go High Level. I buy like a monthly, I pay per month $4.97, and then I pay for like emails or something like that. And so I pay probably about $700, $800 a month for my SaaS, but I don't actually have to go out. I didn't have to hire developers to build it for me. You can use a website like Code Canyon to find done for you SaaS, and you just configure it. I also, one of my first SaaS that I built out was web hosting. I had purchased web hosting from Name Hero, and then I used WHM, it was called, in order to white label that. And the great thing with it, again, as long as people are satisfied with the SaaS company, it's reoccurring monthly income that you don't necessarily have to do more of. But you should be able to come up with a couple SaaS ideas, whether you've got to build it yourself or you can hire somebody to do it for you or find a white labeled solution. That is really up to you. Now, one thing that I've noticed is when I go longer than about 20 minutes, at about the 17 or 18 minute mark, the audio on this camera kind of decreases a little bit. I don't know why that is, but that happens. So that's an interesting thing. So those are my recommendations for how to monetize YouTube. I think that one of the most important things that you need to do is have a game plan. Have a 3, 6, 9, and even 1 year game plan. And don't try and implement all of this at one time. So maybe start off right away with affiliate marketing. Find 5 or 6 affiliate programs. Or maybe even the first thing that you do is start off with email marketing. So start with a lead magnet. That's a thing that you're going to give away for free in exchange for your target audience's name and email. And then once you have their emails, you can offer them affiliate offers. So that's the first thing you do for the first 2 to 3 months. And then after that, you come up with a digital product, or while you're building your mailing list, come up with a couple digital products. And then you can add your digital product right to the description of your YouTube videos. And then after that, you can, in addition to affiliate marketing and digital products, you can look at doing a SaaS. But I think the best thing that you can do for yourself is build out a 3, 6, 9 month game plan so that you can have multiple revenue streams. And the great thing with YouTube, and what makes YouTube, I think, better than TikTok, is that you can have multiple links in the description of your videos so that you can build up multiple revenue streams. But ultimately, what I would recommend that you do is have a mailing list, whether it's free or paid. And what I mean by paid is you sell a digital product, whether it's free or paid, and then you start monetizing that way. Do not rely on the YouTube Partner Program to pay you. It can be a nice assistant. It can be a nice revenue stream, and I say that as someone that has made over 10K per month with just YouTube, but that number can change, right? The customer sentiment can change. However, if you're selling a digital product, a person in Pakistan who may not have the value according to YouTube in the YouTube Partner Program, they still have $7 where they can buy a digital product from you. And then you never know, they might come back to you in 6 weeks or 6 months and may want to give you $1,000 to work with you, to pay for a course. So even if YouTube doesn't value them, there's still people out there. There's people all over the world that have money. There's someone in Malaysia that might be an expat. They might be watching from Malaysia, but they have $20,000 in the bank and they want to work with you. So don't just rely on the YouTube Partner Program. Like, comment, follow, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.